break everybody's speakers. Good evening, everyone. This is the Lobbycast, the official podcast of the Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I feel like
absolutely.
There's no other Friday the 13th podcasts. There probably is.
No, there probably is.
So this is the PGL Lobbycast, the official podcast at pregamelobby.com. My name is Jordan. This evening for episode 277, I am joined by
Geoff.
Geoff, it's good to see you. This episode
see you, sir.
is the episode for the week of this week.
Whatever this week is.
Which is...
Today's Friday the 13th. You covered that already,
right,
so I think that's good.
The week of Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Also known as the week of June 9th. All right. So E3 happened.
It did.
I don't know if you know this, but that's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal.
And people said some things.
Did they?
And people did some things.
I feel that that's accurate.
Yeah. And this is also the week of the Denver Comic-Con, which is growing and growing every year. So, Geoff, since you are up to do on the news of E3, tell me what happened.
Well, my plan was to watch the Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo press conferences. Maybe not any of the other ones, but just those three. And I watched the Xbox one last night, and it was pretty good. And I watched the Sony one today, and it was pretty good. And I started watching the Nintendo one. Got about 5 minutes in. Nope, I can't do it. And theirs was different. It was not a live broadcast. It was a pre-recorded thing.
They didn't hop up on stage and do the thing? Wow.
No, and it wasn't any better. You know, their reasoning was that, you know, they wanted to make it more of a production, more of a show, like a spectacle or whatever, and it wasn't any better.
Interesting.
Yeah, the dialogue and all the talk, it was just bad. It was still just bad. So, and I just can't bring myself to get too overly interested in what Nintendo's doing anymore. And
I don't think I've been able to to be completely honest, I haven't been interested in something Nintendo was doing since the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, fair enough. Not even a little bit with the Wii?
No, because the Wii came out when I was really into playing like Xbox and Halo and 360. Look, I mean,
yeah.
It wasn't for me. I was much more of the hardcore gamer type at that time, and
sure,
I wanted to, you know, play first-person shooters on something that wasn't a Wiimote.
Yeah, fair enough. So, looking at all the different things that the companies had going on, I really think that Sony won it this year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft put on a bunch of games,
and that
there's some interesting things on there. Fable Legends being 4-player co-op. You can also.
No, I refuse to be okay with like even thinking about playing a Fable game.
Wait for it.
All of these promises of candy.
That's true. That's true.
No,
but on the other end of it, it's 4-player co-op, and then someone can play as like the villain commander, and spring things on you, tower defense style, and control the.
You know what that sounds like, Geoff?
It sounds like nonsense.
It sounds like the promise of candy. Sounds like the promise of candy.
Something you have to remember, that there is no candy. There is only the promise of candy.
I remember Fable being co-op before. Do you remember Fable being co-op?
The first one.
No, it was like 2 or 3.
No, they originally said the
first one was going to be co-op? Okay. Wow.
And that...
And when we finally got...
Your buddy's game saves can
alter your world
against you for a quest and stuff like that.
Remember when we finally did get co-op on Fable? That was the worst thing ever.
I don't remember it.
When you jumped into your friend's game, you had to play as their little minion character, and the screen wouldn't the screen had to follow around the main character, so it was terrible. I felt like I was playing a Super Nintendo side scroller, but it wasn't that good.
I had blocked that from my memory, yeah.
And then when you were, playing on live, and it was like, oh, you'll see your friends on, and they'll be playing too. All you saw was their little gamer tag orb floating around.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. Ugh.
Yeah, I agree.
It was bad. You know what? What I thought it was odd that was missing from both of the Sony and Microsoft presentations was Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah. Nobody really talked about anything.
Nope.
And I don't know if that's the fact that they're still working on it. I mean, I saw Diablo 3 talked about with Xbox One is running at, was it 900p, and
yeah, I mean
PlayStation's at 1080p or something like that.
And that's been the big news. And I'll just put this straight out there. I don't care.
Yeah, I honestly don't. I don't care either.
As long as the game looks good and plays well, I don't
For
care
me,
what the resolution is.
The biggest thing that I took away from E3, and obviously I didn't watch the coverage, but I read the news on it, is the lack of push on peripherals for the Xbox One or PlayStation. Like, it's back to being games. Like, they tried the Kinect, and it's a great peripheral for a lot of things, and the way that the Xbox One has kind of become the center of the entertainment, where I can shut everything off and turn everything on and switch, and I can look things up on Bing while I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
I can use my cell phone to control my TV. That kind of stuff was all of the really, really good things that came out of Kinect and the 360.
Yeah, and Smart Glass, yeah.
Yeah, Smart Glass and things like that. But using it for games was a novelty, and I think we're past that. Just like the Wii was kind of a little bit of a novelty, just like Rock Band was kind of a novelty item.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think about that sometimes. Playing Rock Band. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I want to
kind of miss it, but I feel like if we played it, we would not miss it.
No. I think that's what it is. Don't, just remember the dream, Geoff. Don't tap into it, because coming from a person that plays games based on, like, nostalgia, it's never as good as it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never as good as it was.
Some other interesting things. Evolve. It's from the same team who did the Left 4 Dead's. That looked pretty decent. It was kind of a brute force style 4-person co-op game.
Okay.
Each class had a specific set of abilities, or Borderlands, that kind of deal, or even Left 4 Dead, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
To a lesser extent.
To an extent, yeah.
Assassin's Creed Unity being 4-player co-op during the story, I think that's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. They could just be like co-op specific missions that you can go on, but there was definitely an assassination mission that all 4 people were working in concert together to get it done.
Yeah,
and that seemed pretty cool.
Those are the types of things that I'm like, I like to see in games, and
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to get an Xbox One. I just don't know if it's in the stars for me right now, or in the near future, or in the far future.
Well, until Elder Scrolls Online comes out, it's really not a priority for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that gives you another at least 6 months.
I think what is going to push me over the edge is Halo 5.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's a ways out, so I have to. I mean, I have time.
Halo Master Chief Collection may do it.
No, Halo 5.
No,
Halo 5.
You wouldn't go back and play Halo 2 Anniversary Edition.
No, I would love to.
Yeah.
But Halo 5 is what would push me over, because I've gone to every midnight release since Halo 2.
Okay.
And I feel like I would have to do that. Even I would have to do that even if I didn't have an Xbox One. I'd just go buy it.
Fair enough. I mean, there'll be a Halo 5 bundle.
Right, and that's the kind of
and
thoughts
it may take a price drop by then.
I'm hoping so.
You may not have to necessarily buy the Halo 5 bundle would come with Kinect.
I think about how I play games, and I think about playing like ESO. I don't know if a subscription game I would be able to do it even on a console. Like, I just don't play games like that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't play games enough. I mean, I get maybe 1 or 2 hours a week. Maybe.
Yeah,
on a week
been more than me lately.
But there are some weeks where I get 5 or 6 hours. But it's like one day when the weather's terrible outside and I'm not leaving and I'm just sitting on the couch with the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some other notables. Dance Central Spotlight, I think, will be pretty good because it's digital only.
Okay.
And it's going to be constantly updated with
new content.
Like popular songs like at that time. Yeah.
And that's the way to do things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can always dance to the classic songs, but there's only so many of those.
Right.
Sort of thing. And not everybody likes them.
Yep. And then Project Spark is continuing to get updated. Conquer is now a character that you can use within Project Spark, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
If they're not going to make a new Conquer game, or maybe they're using this as a gauge of whether or not they need to make a new Conquer game.
Right. And that's Rare, right?
Rare, yeah.
God, I haven't heard anything about them or seen anything from them.
Well, that's because they're Microsoft Studio now.
Yeah. Okay.
Not much of anything's going on. Let's see here. Lots of stuff with ID at Xbox, the independent gaming. There's a game called Inside that looked pretty interesting, and Ori and the Blind Forest looked pretty good. A new Lara Croft. There's a new there's Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which looks pretty decent. They're revamping Phantom Dust.
I think I saw something about that, yeah.
Yep. And Tom Clancy's The Division looks really good still. Scalebound, it's kind of interesting. And then a new Crackdown.
New Crackdown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's everything that Microsoft had to offer.
And there was also talk about Titanfall 2, yeah?
I don't recall that.
I saw an article about it, so I wasn't sure. I didn't read the article about it. I just saw that there was an article about it.
Yeah, it may just not have been part of the Microsoft presentation, which is odd.
Yeah. Because
that was a pretty comprehensive list of everything they showed. Sony, and I thought this is great. They started off their conference with Destiny. So they led with a Bungie property. It's pretty
bold
slick.
move, and that's how it's about the game and not about for them right now. It's about what software can we put out for this console, and
that's what Microsoft did this time too. Yeah. It was all games. It was actually Sony did more peripheral stuff than Microsoft
and
did.
I think that was Microsoft's like, we are sorry.
Lo siento.
You have spoken.
Yeah. So they showed off Destiny, which looks okay,
it looks like a Bungie title.
Yeah. The Order 1866, that looked really good. So we'll see how that turned out. There's a new Infamous standalone DLC, so you don't have to own Infamous Second Son in order to play it. But if you do, you get bonuses, so that's kind of a cool deal. It was a lot of the usual suspects that you see with Sony. There's a Little Big Planet. There's a game called Bloodborne, and Far Cry 4. And the interesting thing about Far Cry 4 that is specific to Sony is that you can invite your friends to play with you even if they don't own the game.
Right.
And that's only on the PS4.
Okay.
And that was Sony's big deal this time. It's content first, higher resolution, and exclusive whatever. Timed exclusive content, exclusive interactivity. It was a bunch of that, and that's where Sony killed it. I mean, they did a great job with that. Stuff for Dead Island 2, Battlefield Hardline, which is kind of like a cops and robbers thing.
Okay.
And Grim Fandango. They're redoing Grim Fandango for a PS4.
Wow.
Or for Sony things, because there was a lot of stuff, just a lot. I mean, it was PlanetSide 2, Kingdom Under Fire 2, lots of free-to-play content. They had some, a bit of focus on that. PlayStation Now is going into open beta on the 31st for the PS4.
And PlayStation Now is their Xbox Live?
Streaming. No, it's streaming games.
Okay.
Like streaming PS3 games, I think.
Oh, I didn't know Grim Fandango was from LucasArts.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a Tim Schafer title.
It's been out. I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. And let's see here. Oh, PlayStation TV. And this is going to be. It's a box. It's a small box. It's like almost like an Amazon Fire.
Fire, right?
Or whatever. Okay. And it streams video and music services, but then it also streams the PlayStation Now games, the PS3 games.
Ah, very cool.
So that's pretty cool. And then it will also remote play on a different TV your PlayStation 4. So you can have the PlayStation 4 in the living room, and then the PlayStation Now in the bedroom, and be able to play it.
So for me, that would be awesome. So if I'm playing games, but I like it's time to go get ready for bed and chill in bed and read and things like that, but I still want to play games. I'm SOL. I can't.
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
It allows you to go to bed at the same time,
but continue to play games for a little bit before. That's pretty slick.
I think that's amazing.
That's cool technology.
Yep. And
wow,
they sell that for $100, and then there's a version that comes for $140 that comes with the DualShock 3. Okay. Because that's what you need with PlayStation Now. All the PlayStation 3 games, you need a DualShock 3.
Okay.
It comes with a DualShock 3, an HDMI cord, and a memory stick. So it's a pretty good deal, I think, because basically you're getting the cord and the memory stick for free.
Yeah,
I guess. So Last of Us remastered, and they're also putting out a new Metal Gear Solid 5. It's called Phantom Pain.
Okay.
They're doing, and I think it's probably for both systems, Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS4.
Okay.
Now, the interesting thing about this, and I'm not sure exactly how they did it, but if you have a PS4, you can transfer your progress in the game from a PS3 or an Xbox 360. And then just pick up where you left off on the PS4 version.
Well, it could be the same.
I'm just not sure why Microsoft would have signed off on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting. And then, of course, we've got a new Arkham game, Batman Arkham Knight, and then which is multi-platform, and then Uncharted 4, which looks really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Uncharted games have always
looked good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's about it at E3. Like I said, I started watching Nintendo. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just meh. Stick to making Zelda games and Mario games and.
Yeah, I think I got as far as you being able to use a version of your Mii in Super Smash Brothers. So you can have a more customized character, or you can make any character. I think they showed Ice-T fighting. Ice-T as a me fighting in Super Smash Brothers. I just don't care.
No, that's woohoo.
Yeah.
I have games on the Xbox 360 where I can have my avatar walking around playing Kingdom of Keflings.
Yeah.
And I've had that for years.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, remember back Rainbow Six Vegas where you could
you could take a picture of your face, and I had Pinhead.
Why don't games do that anymore?
I don't know. I had that Pinhead right
Our
there.
Our cameraman. That guy.
Pinhead and my face linked together, and it was really creepy.
Yeah.
It made me look like Pinhead with a beard.
With a bird.
Yeah.
You had Pinhead with a beard?
Yeah.
Weird.
Actually, it was because of the way the picture was taken. It was like Pinhead with really cool chops, like all the way down to the chin. Because I think I used Pinhead's face in my profile.
Oh, okay.
And so it gave him chops.
That's funny. So that's about it out of E3. Sony had a solid showing. I'm a Microsoft gamer.
Yeah.
I'm barely a gamer, but
I don't always game, but when I do.
Yeah, but Sony did a great job this year. They definitely took the show. And good for them. And that may be, the PS4 may be this generation's best system.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Last generation, a 360 was the best system.
And that's what good competition does.
Yeah.
It gets us things like that little, was it PlayStation Now box?
Yeah, PlayStation Now.
That is a beautiful idea.
Yeah,
That's
great.
Taking Amazon Fire or the Roku box and things like the wireless
gaming.
Yeah, like wireless gaming. I'm like that.
And Microsoft really has no excuse to not be doing that.
No, it doesn't, especially because of the fact that it's running the PC operating system business at this point. Like, I mean, them and Apple.
Yeah, because Microsoft had money and Sony was bleeding money.
Oh yeah.
But Sony did the right thing with the money that they kind of had. So good for them. Yeah, Sony killed it. And this other little bit of news I saw, and I don't think it was actually E3 news, but there's a thing called a Hyperkin 5. Do you remember the Hyperkin 3? It played all the different, like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Okay, sort of. So it's like a little emulator.
All-in-one system.
Okay.
Well, the new one is really cool because it has HDMI out and it upscales to 720p.
Oh.
Your old school cartridges.
Now that, if I could actually get my hands on the cartridges, that would be a cool thing for me.
And you can.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay $60 for an SNES cartridge.
No, you don't. Some of them you do. Some of them you do. You're right. But it adds in some things like you can save and resume from any point in any game. That's very cool. That's important. And it has Bluetooth controllers, but then it also has the original controller ports, so you can use the original controllers.
Right. If I bought Super Mario RPG, which I'm currently playing for free on an emulator on my tablet, if I bought that from Amazon, the lowest price is $41.99.
Dang!
That's a very popular game that didn't produce a lot of cartridges.
Right. Because it did not sell well when it released.
No. And it's... I
don't recall it selling well when it released, because I think I was working for a gaming company at that point.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna continue to do just a little bit of research here and see if I can there it is. Earthbound.
Oh geez, here it comes.
$1,249.49 on Amazon. Only one left in stock. Order soon.
Is that a complete?
That's a new one. Like that's new in the box.
New in box.
Used one, the cheapest is $195.
So stupid. That also did not sell well.
No, but it's one of those ones that
When I was at Buyback, I think we had one sit up on the wall for 6 months, maybe.
and that does not surprise me. But the people that actually bought Earthbound and played it love the game.
Yeah.
So, it's just. It's one of those things. Like, I would love something like that if it allowed me to use ROMs, but nobody produces things like that with that intent. They expect that you buy the game and pay for it, and yeah.
I think you can. I don't know. It seemed to me like you could modify an original Xbox to play ROMs of older, like put emulators on it.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. It was fairly easy to get into.
Right.
Not as easy to get into as the original PlayStation, but whatever.
Right. Oh yeah.
But pretty easy. All right. Did you have any other thoughts about E3 or any of that stuff?
I think that was a good discussion.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into the Weekly Whatchas then.
Jeff, what have you been listening to?
Sir, I have been listening to the Nitzer Ebb station at the
gym.
At the gym.
Shut up.
It's true. It's true. I tried to listen to something else and it just wasn't working for me. And all it took was one Michael Jackson cover that I heard, and I had to go back to my gym music. And I listened to on Amazon Prime Music. I guess that's news.
Right. I was wondering if we were going to talk about
that. They upgraded their Amazon's music service to where you have access to not only your own Amazon purchased music, but all of their library music, and it's streaming kind of like Spotify or something along those lines. Right. And they have some really cool playlists in there. Beards and Baristas. That was a pretty good one. So I like that one, and I think you can create and upload playlists as well.
Interesting. Okay.
So, and I also listened to the entire album of The Roots, How I Got Over. It's a great album.
Okay.
Like it. And then on my drive to and from Grand Junction, I listened to lots of Shuffle. Lots and lots and lots.
Okay. That sounds pretty normal. That's what I did when I had to drive out to Montrose. For me, Drunks and Dragons podcast, which I'm starting to lose interest in.
Okay.
It's a good podcast. It's D&D, and D&D with my friends is great, but listening to other people play D&D, I'm like, lame. So I started listening to some music on my traveling, to my commute to and from work, and Atreyu comes up a lot still, and I think that's
it's a little harsh for me.
Yeah, and
it's a little much.
I think it is for a lot of people. It's a different type of angry white boy music. You listen to a little bit more industrial stuff.
I don't like this. Where the screaming.
The screaming is like in the background in your kind of music. Like, it's very subdued, and it's more like somebody screaming down the hall from you. Where Atreyu is a little bit more like somebody screaming in your ear,
which is not pleasant.
Yeah. So, there's something about it. Like, I like it.
Okay.
And I think there's times in my life where I can look back and I'm like, oh yeah, I liked listening to that type of music, and it makes me want to download more music. Things like Avenged Sevenfold and I don't know, Thrice, Shai Hulud, like all of these really like yeah, all of these bands that I used to have.
Okay?
I used to have on my iPod, and then apparently I grew a beard and was working as a barista, and my music changed so much. I don't know. It's just, yeah.
Because for most people, listening to Atreyu is a cry for help.
And for me, I'm like bebopping in my car. Somebody probably thinks I'm listening to Prince, which probably will happen because when you hit shuffle all, you probably will have Atreyu followed by Prince in my car.
Yeah.
Raspberry Beret?
Yeah, well, I know. I know.
But, what can you do?
Yeah. It kind of bums me out that I didn't. It's been so long since I've been listening to podcasts because I can't find my Zune. That even though I downloaded a podcast app, Podcast Addict is the one I downloaded, and collected a few podcasts or subscribed to a few podcasts. I didn't think about it whenever I was driving. Making that commute out to Grand Junction, and so I didn't listen to any podcasts.
And yeah, it's sometimes that's the exact thing you want to listen to on a long drive like that. When I went out to,
I could have listened to the most recent episode of
Hardcore History.
Hardcore History.
When I went out to Kansas, I pulled up a few, I think 3 or 4 episodes of Hardcore History, and I was stuck in the snow for a while. I had some Girl on Guy in there when I was stuck in the snow because I made attempted to make a couple trips out to Kansas.
Yeah.
And yeah, that got me through the trip. I didn't listen to much music on those.
So next time I find myself in an hour or in a car for hours on end, I will remember. It's really funny, Jordan. You'll enjoy this. From middle of Grand Junction to my front door, 3 hours and 35 minutes.
You went a little fast, didn't you, Geoff?
I may have teleported at one point.
Yeah, because I remember getting paid for the majority of an 8-hour day getting to Montrose. Montrose is only an hour past Grand Junction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a 4 to 4.5 hour drive.
Yeah, I got lost.
I shaved a little time off.
I got lost in
a little time.
Yeah, only a quarter of the trip, Geoff.
Whatever.
No big deal. Don't make a big deal.
There are ideal driving conditions, sir. Ideal.
I'm glad to know. Because I'm wandering up a mountain tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to the driving conditions being not so bad.
Yeah, and then they were. So they were definitely not so bad. Well, let's get into what you're watching, Jordan. I know you're not watching Game of Thrones. We already discussed
had that discussion. I watched some hockey. I would love to be watching Game of Thrones. I need to put it onto my my DVR.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't have a good week for watching. I watched.
Have you watched any soccer, Jordan? It's
World
Cup time.
I have. I watched a little bit of the highlights from Mexico, Cameroon, but Monday is when the USA plays, and that's when I'm going to be watching some footy.
Some footy.
I don't know where I'm going to go. I think I might go to Coda Brewing and or Cedar Creek Pub.
Cool.
We'll see. I was also trying to get a motorcycle ride in, and honestly, right now, motorcycle trumps World Cup for me.
Sure. Yeah.
So I've been watching Stanley Cup Finals, watching the Kings. My girlfriend's from
Kings up 3-1.
Up 3-1. Yeah. Watching the Kings play.
And aren't the Spurs up 3-1 over the Heat?
I don't know, because I don't care a damn about basketball.
All right.
But it sounds
all right. Take it easy, bro.
That sounds good. I think the Rockies won a game too, so there's that. People seemed excited about that.
Yeah. So I watched some hockey, and I've been enjoying that. I'm trying to think of something else that I watched, and honestly, I got nothing, man.
You got nothing? All right.
Yeah, there are days that I don't turn on the TV.
Yeah.
Those are most days, actually.
Sure.
I think this.
I turn on the TV every day. I don't always watch something.
This week, I turned on the TV when the Stanley Cup Finals were on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just turn on my TV at night and put something on the Roku box and
Let it go. Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. So what have you been watching, Jeff?
Actually, kind of an interesting thing. Speaking of the Roku box, I thought I was being so clever
Taking it with you?
taking it with me.
How terrible was the internet, Jeff?
No, that's not the problem. The problem is that I said, well, I don't need to take my remote because I use my phone to control the Roku. But the problem comes in is that the Roku and your phone actually connect through the internet, and you cannot set up the Roku with the phone.
Until
you
it's
have to
connected,
set up
right.
with the original remote.
So your Roku would have worked for you.
It would have worked
had you had the remote.
Absolutely would have worked.
So the Roku box would be a great thing to take on trips like that.
Yes.
Huh. Yeah. Okay.
Or an Amazon Fire or a PlayStation Now.
Right. Or
There
any of
are
these
a
other
bunch.
non-Microsoft products.
Yeah. The Amazon Fire has some benefits to streaming from your house because it doesn't transcode video. It comes through in its original form.
Oh, okay.
And so it works faster.
Right.
And it doesn't stutter during playback because it just plays whatever format you're in.
Right. Okay.
So, but as far as streaming, whatever, like Netflix, because that's what I was going to do. I was going to watch some of Orange Is the New Black, or maybe season 2 of House of Cards.
I figured, yeah.
Because I haven't seen any of those either.
I haven't watched any of those shows.
Yeah. So thinking about that, but that didn't end up happening. But because I didn't have that, I saw a couple of movies. I saw Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise. It's good.
Any good?
I liked it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and
he's respawning.
yeah. It's kind of like Groundhog Day with sci-fi.
Okay.
And then I also watched A Million Ways to Die in the West, which was very funny.
You liked it.
I liked it. I don't know if I ever laughed out loud, but I was smiling the whole time because I enjoy Seth MacFarlane humor.
Right.
But it's rare that I laugh at Family Guy or American Dad anymore.
I have a
either.
feeling that so Mieszko
wanted to go see it,
right?
And
all of her friends were like, it wasn't funny, or it was funny if you liked Ted, and she had never seen Ted, and I was like, I didn't laugh at Ted. But then I think about it, I don't always laugh at Family Guy, but I enjoy it. So I think I would probably be the same case. Brick said there was a lot of times when he laughed out loud, but overall,
no. And there were a lot of Seth MacFarlane monologues in it, where his character just starts riffing on something.
Right.
Which is not really how movies within a storyline work.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, there are definitely points in the movie where you feel like he's doing stand-up and performing for just the two people he's talking to or whatever. Or just the person that he's talking to. Whoever. But definitely it was a strange flow, but I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And then, for the first time ever, I watched Game of Thrones episode live.
Live. Yeah. How'd that go?
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would have been more impactful in a more impactful episode.
Yeah.
No, it's the Battle of the Wall.
Right. The Battle of Castle Black.
Battle of Castle Black, yes. And some people die, but it wasn't like an overly tense episode. I don't think there was any Daenerys. There wasn't any Tyrion. There wasn't any...
No. There wasn't anybody but Castle Black.
Yeah, it was just Castle Black.
And that's one of the things that they talked about in the articles after the show, is that people are used to there's all of these amazing storylines. So when you cut an episode,
especially in the second to last episode of the season.
right, when you cut to an episode, it better be an amazing episode, like the Battle of the Blackwater was last season. And people were like, it just wasn't quite the same.
No.
And I think it's because the people watching the show aren't invested in Jon Snow like the people that read the books were.
Right. I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that character is
Jon
awesome.
Snow and Ygritte, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was an amazing... Ygritte, the redhead, the
Oh,
ginger.
yeah.
Yeah. That's an amazing story in the books. Like, it's one of the better written parts of that...
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff, and you know the scene in the caves with them, like those are really important scenes. And in the book, I think it gives them a little bit more feeling than it has in the show. But I haven't seen much of the show, and like the sense of betrayal on both sides at the end of that, just good times.
Good times. You need to get caught up on that.
George Martin knows how to get you in the feels.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so I saw that, and I think I'm up to date on 24. Watched the Will Wheaton Project. Will Wheaton.
Is that a show?
It is.
Okay. On what?
It's sci-fi.
Sci-fi?
It's half hour, kind of like a sci-fi based web soup kind of deal. Just like...
Any funny?
Yeah.
Any good?
Yeah, it's funny.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
It's Will Wheaton. I mean, if you enjoy him,
right? And I like Will Wheaton.
It's sticky, it's schlocky,
yeah.
But you know, it's fun, and it's only a half-hour show. So,
you know, no matter how much I like or dislike Will Wheaton, I will always try to live by Wheaton's law.
Yeah,
I think they're just the words to live by.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And I saw, actually, I'm up to date on The 100, which is kind of an interesting sci-fi show. It could have been done a lot better than it's been done. But I think it's a CW show.
Okay.
So that, you know, they can't help but
yeah.
make something suck at least a little bit.
Yeah. It's in blood.
Yeah. Inside Amy Schumer, which I still enjoy. And Fargo, which is awesome.
And Key and Peele are in Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept forgetting to mention that.
Yeah.
And they're funny. They're partners in the FBI.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, they're together.
Right.
Yeah, you don't see their characters apart.
Ever.
They're ever.
I'm Special Agent Johnson. This is Special Agent Johnson. No relation.
It's kind of like that, yeah. Billy Bob Thornton is great.
Yeah, he
is great in that show.
Yeah, it's good. He's a good actor. I like Billy Bob Thornton. He's a little crazy.
Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. So I think that's about it for my watching.
Nice. We're moving on to playing.
Yeah.
Played two things this week. I played
The
Skyrim.
one thing, then the other.
Yeah.
Skyrim. Nice.
Yeah, I've been working my way through the main storyline, and I just retrieved the Elder Scrolls so that I could go back in time and learn the shout.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at. I don't know what happens.
You're gonna finish the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I'm only like level 15. Yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. Like, I don't know where to go from here. Anywhere I want. So it was really cool. I was in the Black Reach. It's the underground. Yeah. So it's a huge area. Huge. Well, there's this big hanging glowing light in the middle of it. And I just happened to read something online. I was like, oh yeah, you use Fusro Da. You shout at that light, and it's a gong, and it summons a dragon underground.
What?
A named dragon with a set level. It's like a level 50 dragon. So I summoned it and killed it.
What?
Yeah.
Level 15, how'd you kill a level 50 dragon?
Pretty easily, actually.
Weird.
Shooting him with my bow while I was sneaking. I mean, I'm playing a sneaky character.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can...
You can do damage when you're sneaking with a bow.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Yeah. So I'm playing a light armor sneaky character named Grognak. Looks like me with a mohawk and a giant beard.
Sure.
And yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun with Skyrim when I get to play.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think I'm having more fun with it now than I had in the past when I was playing it.
Do you have any of the DLC for it?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do have like 800 Microsoft points and 2 years of Xbox Gold whenever I want to put those into effect.
Oh, yeah. 2 years of Xbox Gold?
2. There is a deal. It was like $50 for.
Oh, you just bought the cards, but you haven't activated them. Okay.
It was,
Well, it's smart to hold on to them until
I want to use them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a deal on Groupon. It was $50 for a year of Xbox Live and 400 points.
You know, I think I bought that too.
Yeah, and so I was just like, I'll just buy 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I started playing Super Mario RPG on my tablet, and it's rewarding. I mean, it's cool. It's what I do instead of reading at night.
Sure.
Instead of bettering myself. I'm having fun with it. It's a little ridiculous, but I finished Earthbound a while back, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And I took a break from gaming on the tablet for probably 3 months, and now I'm back into it.
Cool.
And it's playing those games from my childhood and being able to not have to worry about a save point. That's important. Where I can just drop it, and turn it back on, and come back to the exact spot that I left off.
Well, if you ever want to borrow the PS1 and play those, just let me know.
I've thought about it, and no, I think the tablet's the way to go for me. Playing an emulator on the tablet.
Okay. I've been thinking about going back and playing Persona 1 or 2.
And I remember playing Final Fantasy Tactics recently.
Yeah.
On this PlayStation that's sitting behind us, and I got farther in it than I had ever been before, but I still didn't finish it.
Yeah. Did you play the Personas?
Uh-uh.
They're kind of like modern Final Fantasies.
Okay. No.
Not fantasy, but like set in real world with
real
fantasy
world
elements,
role-playing fantasy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not quite Parasite Eve, but
right. Parasite Eve was
very sci-fi.
Was a lot more Resident Evil where you could actually move.
Okay. Yeah.
And I liked how Parasite Eve you could upgrade, like combine equipment and upgrade equipment. I thought that
Parasite Eve was a cool game.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't even know if I have Persona. Maybe it's. I don't know.
What have you been playing?
Yeah, I just played one game of the lightning round scenario on Civ Rev. And I played random Civ. I played as the Zulu.
Okay. Zulu Nation.
Yeah, and I took 2 opposing cities really early.
You get extra movement from the Jaguar. Is it the Jaguar Warriors?
No,
those are Aztecs.
Yeah.
But you get extra movement from the Zulus.
Just Zulu Warriors, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting. Jaguar.
So in the lightning round, you start with 3 cities, and they start with 1 archer apiece. And so what I did is I switched over, had each one of them create a warrior, and then switched back to archers and took those 3 warriors, combined them,
and took off.
And took off and took the first couple of cities. So one of them eventually culture flipped, because the Americans were near them, and the Americans rule all except maybe the British with their culture.
Early game French are pretty good too, because the French start with the cathedral.
Yeah. And then I think the Indians came and took one of my cities, but I didn't care because I won that same round.
Oh, nice.
Because lightning round, your objective is first to learn 25 techs or something like that.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah. So I didn't care. I mean, I cared.
But not really.
Yeah. Because they took my city by a fight I was favored by 50% on. Like
I hate you, computer.
I was 9 and they were 6, or something
Yeah.
along those lines. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want to add for this week?
No, I think that's about it.
Been good to
I
have a
did some
show.
editing on some other shows. I got 267, 68, and 69 done.
Nice. I gotta get to work on editing our D&D sessions.
Yeah.
That's
Some
gonna be
Attacking the Darkness.
That's gonna be a labor of love.
Now, Audacity has a beep.
It does.
Yeah. So you just highlight the area that you need to bleep and hit generate in tone.
Okay. Yeah, you may have
I've
to show
used
me
it
how to
before.
edit like dead space and things like that.
Sure. Yeah. For sure. I got it.
Yeah, I'll have to come over.
I know how to do it. I just don't.
Yeah. We've got some planning
Not
we
very
gotta do.
often.
We have
Yeah.
to work on that this next week.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we are done for episode 277. We will see you next week. Don't know when,
But it'll happen.
but it'll happen. It'll happen. Hopefully, we'll be able to get somebody else involved in this. I'm trying to get Sam or Blaine or Will or Aaron or pretty much anybody.
Anybody at this point. Anybody that's not me, you, and Brick.
Yeah. We need to get some more other people up in here.
I wouldn't say fresh blood because they've all been on the show before, but
Right.
yeah.
Right.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Hold on, let me
Nicely done.
Punch you in the ovaries.
All right. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Bye.